Central banks around the globe are meeting this week in a bid to curb inflation, the biggest one in the United States tomorrow. For more, Ingrid Willinge joins me. Ingrid, given the latest inflation data, what are we expecting to hear from the US Fed?
Yeah, it's a huge week for central banks all across the globe, actually, Tom. But the Fed is expected to hike rates between either 75 or 100 basis points. There is a bit of a debate between economists whether they'll go the full percentage point at the meeting. This is a two-day meeting. It kicks off, as I said, it's kicked off overnight. We'll get the decision at about 4 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow morning. We'll also get some inflation forecasts, some new GDP forecasts and unemployment forecasts from the Fed. So this will be really key. And of course, we'll also hear from Jerome Powell, the US Fed chair, on his thoughts about where the economy is headed. So it's quite a comprehensive meeting, and one we'll be watching very closely here at home, of course, to determine what perhaps the RBA does next, because we are linked to what the rest of the globe is doing. I will mention as well, the Bank of England also meeting tomorrow night. We'll get a decision from them. That meeting was originally meant to be held last week, but because of the death of Queen Elizabeth II, it was postponed to this week. Also expected to hike rates by 75 basis points. So lots to watch. I'll mention as well, Tom, we've got a speech from RBA Deputy Governor Michelle Bullock today. This is all to do with the bond buying purchase program that was put in place during the pandemic to help assist low interest rates and assist lower borrowing costs for people across Australia. Now, we know the RBA is under a lot of scrutiny at the moment, so this will be watched, really. It's a review of that program. The speech is happening at midday Eastern. We've already got a hold of that speech, though. It's been released publicly this morning. And the RBA basically said, yes, we may have overstimulated the economy, but we'd do it again, and it was the right decision under the conditions.
So big decisions coming there. It seems as though our own interest rates won't be as big, those hikes, but we'll just have to see. The other story today, Coles selling off its petrol stations. Does this mean people won't be hanging on to their receipts anymore to get that 4 cents off a litre?
Do you know what? You can still get that apparently in the deal going forward. So still hold those receipts. But I will say this deal sold off 710 Coles Express petrol stations to Viva Energy. This is a deal worth about $300 million. It's still subject to regulatory approval, so it's not completely done or signed over the dotted line just yet. But it should be completed in the second half of the financial year. It means the Coles stations will all be rebranded. So you'll no longer see those Coles Express petrol stations. They will still stock Coles products, though, so still that link there. And I will say staff will be transferred over from those Coles Express stations. But it is a big deal, and Coles has come out with a statement to the ASX this morning saying their focus going forward is going to be on food and liquor. So watching this story very closely today, Tom.
Right, so things will stay pretty similar from a consumer point of view, but it's just a classic case of focusing on your bread and butter.
Basically, yeah. From a consumer point of view, things should remain basically the same, at least for now. I mean, we'll watch what happens over the next 12 to 24 months. And of course, as I said, it still needs regulatory approval, Tom, so it does need to go through some checks and balances. It should be approved, but we will watch closely because Coles is really putting the focus now on food and liquor to compete with Woolies.